This Cranky Gamers UK episode has been brought to you by iFester. You know you've been pwned when it says iFester. Resulting frag tags may vary.
Damn it, Fester! Bleeding frag tag.
Hello and welcome to Cranky Gamers UK. I'm your host Kid Dogg, and joining me this week, he's my co-host and definitely the crankiest gamer in the UK. But no Derby piss takes today because I haven't played. It's an England match tonight, so we're all one big happy family. Hello, Toz.
Hi everybody. Yeah, brilliant this week. Obviously, we can't lose this week. We're not even that bad, so we should be okay. But there's always next week, so you can take the mickey out of me. So yeah, hello everybody.
Oh, you know I will be. And joining us again this week, he's back. It's the classic lineup. It's Cranky Gamers Classic this week. Here's Dorkfish.
Hey, it's good to be back, and good news, my mic is working.
We hope. Woohoo! And woohoo from Mrs. Falonzo. Alright then, Toz, what you been playing this week, my man?
Yes, well, this week I've actually gotten, I'm afraid you're not going to like it, but I've gone Guitar Hero mad again with actually getting hold of a PS2. And my very nice brother, shout out to him, has lent me Guitar Hero 2 on the PS2. And I've got to say, first impressions are it's a lot easier than it is on the 360. Whether that or my daughter seems to be getting better than me because she had it for 5 minutes and played their third song, was on expert and finished it. So I've got a feeling it's easier, or she's getting a lot better. I've also gone back to Puzzle Quest on the DS for a little while. To be honest, since I had the PS2, my poor 360, not played it very much this week, although I will add before he puts it in, did play a little Rainbow Six this week.
Alright, Dork, what have you been playing this week?
Call of Duty 4 beta, and a little bit of Bioshock, but I had to take it back, because I only rented it. But Bioshock, amazing game, like 10 out of 10. Everybody that owns a 360 needs to play it. And the Call of Duty 4 beta, it's got its problems, but it's still a hell of a lot of fun. There we go, I got it out.
Yes, get your teeth in there, Dork. Alright, and we're going to give you a little hint. We want you to keep listening to the show this week because we've got a very big and important announcement towards the end of the show. So if you want to find out about that, keep on listening. Alright, let's hit up with the UK Top 10 this week. No cracks, and I suppose I better explain about my joke last week about we should have Led Zeppelin's Whole Lot of Love. Now, to our American listeners and international listeners, you probably won't know this, but there was a pop show here called Top of the Pops, and the theme music for it was the riff from Led Zeppelin's Whole Lot of Love. So I'll try and not make any more obscure jokes again. Who am I kidding? I probably will. Alright, here we go. At number 10, for our friends at the Weeds podcast, New Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah, but it's only on the DS, but it still amazes me that it's in our top 10 still. But it is still a brilliant game, and I have not finished it yet, still, and I will do one day.
Oh, and Dork, if you feel like commenting on any of these games, you can do.
Yeah.
Okay, at number 9, Blue Dragon.
Hasn't that dropped pretty big this week in just a week? Wasn't it a new entry at 4 last week? It's such a shame because it was one of my top 10 games that I really, really wanted to play, but apparently it's been panned as not being very good. Have you played it, Dork?
No. I've got it coming on my GameFly. It's on my list. It should be here in a few days, but I don't know. I've seen mixed reviews. Like I've seen places give it like a 7, and Game Informer gave it a 9. So I don't know.
Sorry, did you play the demo on the marketplace?
I downloaded it, but I just never got around to playing it, and eventually just taking up so much space, I just deleted it.
Yeah, I must have had about at least 5, 6, 7, 8 times to try it, and I just couldn't get on with it. Which, as I say, it's a shame. But let's carry on with the top 10.
Alright, at number 8, another one for our Weeds fans, Mario Party 8.
Again, I'll say what I've said for the past 2 weeks. I just don't know how this does it, because unless you've got a massive family, I can't see it being any use. It can't be a single-player game, but it's still hanging in there.
Yeah, well, I think
Okay,
it's
then.
kind of the perfect game for the Wii. It's a, Wii's a kind of a party console.
Again.
And,
Has anybody,
party game for a party
has anybody actually
console.
played any of the Mario Party franchise?
I played some of the earlier ones.
Was it any good?
They're pretty fun. I mean, when you get a group of people, but like you said, you can't play them by yourself. They just get boring.
Okay, then. This is going to make Toz very happy. Looks heading down the charts and heading out, hopefully, Pokemon Diamond.
It is, and I'm even going to refuse to comment this week. Everybody knows my comments on this godforsaken game, so yeah, number 6.
Oh, man.
Okay, number 6, Stuntman Ignition.
Another strange one, I think. This is another love or hate one, isn't it? I don't know if anybody's actually caught this in the marketplace again. I played it, and it was, I've got to say, the most frustrating 15 minutes of gameplay I think I had ever played.
I agree.
I just kept hitting the lava, and why on earth it keeps putting you back to the beginning every time? No, it lasted 10 minutes, gone. But it's in the 6 at charts, in our charts.
What's it about?
Haven't you played it? It's very much like, it's hard to describe. You're basically a stuntman in a car being directed in a movie, and you've got a preset instructions being put in front of you, and you've got to hit the marks. Example, you'll see things pop up saying drive through the doors of the barn, and you've then got to drive, hit the barn, and so forth. Then you drive again, and it says do a 360, and you get awarded points. Again, strange one, because I've heard some good reports some places and some good marks, but then again, not a lot of bad marks. I mean, what do you think, kid?
I absolutely hated this game.
Yeah, same here.
I'm sorry, I just didn't like it. And I should point out it is actually a sequel as well.
Is it?
Oh, yes, the original Stuntman
Really?
was on the PlayStation 2.
So enough people bought it that they felt the need to make a sequel?
I was in a new sequel then.
Yes.
Oh,
So,
man.
okay, let's leave Stuntman alone. Okay, number 5, our first movie tie-in, Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix.
Again, been there for the past few weeks, not worth commenting on, although it is quite good for the kids. It's not bad, but it's still hanging in there.
Okay. Number 4, Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter 2.
Again, like I said last week, back in the charts because I think a few of our retailers in the UK have got it on sale at half price. I think if you chase around on the internet, some good prices for it.
It's been out, what, maybe not 6 months, but it's been a while, hasn't it?
It has. Like I say, I think it's only in the charts at so high because it's been sold at a decent price, half price.
I never could get into the Ghost Recon.
No, it's a game I've had twice and swapped it on again. I played the introduction, and I mean it does look pretty. There's no question about it. And looking at the movies online, it looks beautiful. But I think we're just getting a few too many of them again.
Because that came out less than a year after the first one did.
Yeah, which a lot of people did not like, didn't they? Which I must admit I hate. It's wrong.
Basically, I heard that it was like the same game.
Yeah.
Just, different story.
Okay, and finally, it's great to have Dork on the show, because at number 3, Transformers the game.
Yeah.
Now, Dork's the only one of us who has this game and played it.
But I will just say that the demo, as I've said before, is fantastic, and the game is superb. So I'll leave it to Dork to tell us what the game was like.
Well, I really liked it. I'm not sure if it was worth a buy, because I have since traded it in for cash towards Halo 3, but it was fun while it lasted. It's just I don't know, just you destroy everything, and it's not deep or anything, but it's good at what it's there for.
Was the actual transformation physics very, very
good?
Yeah, they do look awesome.
You could spend an hour just sitting there hitting Y. Transforming.
That's exactly what I heard. Everybody saw it on trailers. I did, and I actually nearly went and ordered it just on looking at the trailer, and I'm glad I didn't.
The graphics, for a licensed game, I was really surprised. They were pretty good. The transformations look awesome every time.
Yeah, but it's a pity there's no better back game, is there?
Yeah, well, Not really. I mean, it just kind of sort of follows the story of the movie.
Yeah. And the movie was
And,
pretty good. Well, very good, I should say.
You can't like pick which Transformer you want to play as either. Like once you play through the story, there's a section for each like different Autobot or each different Decepticon. Instead of you getting, like, oh, I want to play as this one through the whole story. You can't do that.
Oh, you're kidding.
I would have liked that a lot more if you could have done that.
Did you get
And,
did you get to finish it, by the way? Would that have been a choice if you'd have finished it?
No, I did get to finish it. I beat it. Well, let's see. I think I beat the Decepticon campaign. I didn't get through the Autobot. But
Did you get any rewards for finish it? Any special bonuses?
Well, as you play through, you unlock like little story art from the movie, and you can unlock like the G1 forms of like Optimus Prime, Starscream, and Megatron, which is pretty cool.
Okay, I know enough about Transformers. Okay. Despite Toz's warning rant of last week, at number 2, Tiger Woods PGA Tour 08.
And I've got a follow-up to this. I will try and keep it short. It nearly got into the rant of the week. But we've got other stories for that, I'm afraid. It's been a bad week. Some moaning this week, I'm afraid. But the follow-up to this abysmal EA release, basically releasing a game that is bugged so much you cannot finish part of the campaign, they then miraculously put on Marketplace this week a thing to buy. And for 200 points you can buy where you can have your golfer at full specs, 110%. Now, for our listeners out there who don't know about the golf game of Tiger Woods, the actual backbone of the game is starting with your golfer as a lowly golfer, not be able to hit very far and not very accurate. And the campaign part that I said was bugged is the campaign you mostly play to build this said golfer up and make him bigger, better, stronger and more accurate. So EA in their wisdom decide to chuck a fix, as I call it, on the marketplace where, for 200 points as I've said, you get your golfer straight to 110%, which is the max for the golfers. Then what totally drove me insane, fair enough, your game's bugged, you've made a mess of it, and we'll give you a chance to get your golfer. But you're going to charge us for the fact as well. I think it's the most abysmal, appalling thing that EA have ever done. And I'll rest there before I say something that drives me mad.
Wow. I've actually heard good things about the game. And all the reviews I've seen are really good. And you're saying it's, what's the problem with the campaign?
It's got absolutely panned over here. Basically, on day of release, whether they've been fixed or not yet, I haven't checked, and I will do. The servers didn't work, was the main thing for online play, which was their new online play. The basic, one of the biggest selling points, the game face, didn't work. Your characters was appearing with no eyebrows and no way to put any on. The lighting effects in the game face didn't work. But the main part of the game that was broken was what's called the Tiger Challenge. And the Tiger Challenge consists of where you fight through the game playing other professional golfers on the scene. And you have to beat them in match play. And you basically pick new clubs up, extra points to boost your golfer up, as I've said, to get it built up, to be more accurate. Well, apparently, halfway through that campaign, there's a bug where every 360 version crashes, stops, and you can't get past it. So basically, it's broken, completely broken.
It's a broken game.
I would actually love EA to make a release, and I am actually going to try and chase this up this week, and I will actually try and contact them to see if I can get a reply if they plan to try and fix it or if it's not fixable, because it really is appalling that they do this and then charge for the privilege to get your golfer up. That should at least be free, at least.
Yeah, I agree. That's not right, but it's EA, so what can you?
Correct.
What do you expect?
Correct.
Okay, and is it any surprise what the number 1 UK game this week is? Again,
Do you know what?
BioShock.
Do you know what the only big surprise is? That you've yet to play it.
Rub it in, why don't you?
You've got to get it. As everybody knows, it's the game of, I think, and I still think it'll be the game of the year, even with the big.
Yeah, I agree.
I think even with Halo 3 coming out and Call of Duty, I think this will win game of the year. I really do.
It should, man.
Yeah, it's. Have you finished it yet?
Oh yeah.
No,
I put to
yeah,
it about
no
twice.
spoilers. It's just the most awesome game you'll ever see. And I borrowed mine to finish, and I do plan on getting it again. But awesome.
I'm gonna have to buy it probably after Halo 3 when the price drops a little bit.
Yeah,
I'm
I think I'm going to buy it when the price drops. But anybody out there if there is anybody out there that's not bought it yet, you must go and do it.
Why was he looking at me when he said that?
Yes, a big stare.
Okay, that was the UK top 10, and let's move on to our news stories. And following up from last week's gaming and responsibility, we've got a positive news story about gaming. Yes, pick your jaws up off the floor. A positive news story about gaming. Surprisingly enough, it involves Star Wars Galaxies, which is going to surprise a few people. Alright, Star Wars Galaxies in-game event nets $10,000 for Austin's Habit for Humanity. Gamers take part in a virtual urban renewal raising awareness for fight against poverty housing. Not sure if I said that right. Basically, in Star Wars Galaxies, they allowed users to demolish player-created houses that weren't being used anymore in a bid to raise awareness for Austin's...
Yeah, I was just going to say, it actually did cause a very big scene I hear in the Star Wars Galaxy players, that people was objecting to it originally, so I don't know how it has actually gone. I do think it's a brilliant thing that they've done. I didn't really think Star Wars Galaxy was still as big as it was, because they absolutely crucified it, didn't they, originally?
They murdered that game.
Yeah, but it's a great thing they're doing if they're giving money to charity. Obviously, it's a good cause, and it is a good idea. But I really don't think, are they doing it for server space, or they surely? You know what it could point to in my eyes? It could point to where they're probably trying to trim the servers down, and probably are going to cut back on some servers. That could be a point, maybe. But it's great that they're going for charity. But yeah, I did hear that it caused a big scene on Star Wars again. As we all know, they've actually killed the game.
And just to give you a bit of detail on this, during a cocktail reception yesterday, opening the Austin Game Developers Conference, Sony Online Entertainment's Austin Studio presented the local Habitation for Humanity with $10,000 donation to their effort to end poverty housing in the area. So it's a positive news story. It may, of course, got a bit of rancor between players of the game, but positive news story for gamers. We don't often get them, so we have to have it on.
Yeah, it's a good story. Good.
Yeah.
Alright. I know, I hate talking about this game, but I'm going to talk about it. Guitar Hero 3 Legends of Rock. A new boss has been announced. Tom Morello from Rage Against the Machine, Audio Slave, is going to be one of your bosses. So guys, how do you feel about taking on the mighty guitar hero that is Tom Morello?
I think I like the boss idea of the whole game. I will own my hands up and actually say, sadly, I'm not a heavy rock person or a basic rock person. I know that's mad, and I'm into Guitar Hero. And to be quite honest, sadly, I wouldn't be able to tell you who he is. Yeah, that's how bad it is. So, yeah, that's how bad a rock person I
Toz,
am.
go on iTunes, type in Killing in the Name of. In fact, no, it's on Guitar Hero 2. Go play Killing in the Name of.
It is. I apologise greatly. I just play the game for what it is. But going back to the story, I do like the boss thing, and I hope it works. It's a bit of a rant, it's a bit of a moan. I suppose it fits in. And again, I'm sorry to keep doing it, but we know it's the big talking games of the time. Guitar Hero 3, for one, is just a small add-on. The prices have been bandied about this week for American prices. I don't know if anybody's aware out there. They released a price for the guitar and game pack that's going to hit the shops end of the year as $109. I just find that very, very, not only strange, but very, very high. I mean, yeah, it's wireless. Funnily enough, me and Kid last night was comparing the actual guitars, pictures of Guitar Hero 3, and of course its very, very big opposite number Rock Band. The difference between the quality of guitars is, it's an absolute mile. Basically, Guitar Hero 3 guitar still looks like a Fisher-Price 5-year-old's toy, where I think you could actually walk down the street with Rock Band's guitar and people would actually think it was real. It's that good. But going back to the price, $109 for the game and guitar. I find it strange, I find it high, especially when they're going to be in very big contention with Rock Band. It's $109, way too high. That's my mini rant for that one. great story for some hardware that's I've grabbed hold of, that I think the US listeners out there are well aware of. A new headphone set that's finally been given license over here. I'll read the release. Basically, Global Sourcing UK have announced they have signed an exclusive distribution agreement with Triton Technologies to distribute the stunning Audio Extreme 360 and Audio Extreme PC headsets. Now, I know it might not be great news out there, but I have heard unbelievable reports of this hardware. And basically, the high-performance Dolby Digital Pro Logic certified gaming headsets that are compatible with Xbox 360, the old Xbox, PS2, PS3, the Macs, the PCs, the Wii's, and even DVD players. And it basically, is what I've heard, is a top-notch sound system, and it includes a detachable microphone, so you can even use it as a headset in 360 apparently. Connects all to the consoles, but what is fantastic for the 360 owners, I can say, is it actually connects to the optical port to give it the ultimate optimum Dolby certified 5.1. It also basically has got 8 strategically placed speakers, 4 in each ear cup. It's got 5.1 as I've said, and basically it's also got a subwoofer within the headphones which will integrate a rumble effect.
That's cool.
Apparently it's like the Rolls-Royce of headphones, and I haven't got any prices, haven't got a release yet, but I will add that maybe, just maybe, we might be getting a set for review later on in the year, and if we do, I will make a full review and report on them, but I've got to say, they sound a nice piece of kit. Moving on to the next story, BAFTA, as we all know for the movies and TV, announced this week that PC World have been given the leading sponsorship deal for, if people don't know, the first ever British Academy Video Games Award, which will be held on October the 23rd at Battersea Park. Basically, British Academy Video Games Awards is finally recognising excellence in games development, and about time too, I may add. And there will be a record number of entries. There's 164 titles has been considered into 13 categories, resulting in 1,028 individual entries, an increase of a previous attempt at a show, which was only 66% last year. And actually the nominations will be announced for these categories on September the 25th and will be available at www.bafta.org/games. But yeah, I'm glad to see an awards show for gaming. It's about time. Couple more stories if you want me to carry on.
Yeah, I would just like to say that we will attempt to work our way to that event if we can.
Hopefully.
So dig out your tux, Toz.
Yep. So, moving on again. NCSoft, as we all know, great for online gaming. Bit of PC love here for a change. The great, if everybody's heard, Tabula Rasa, I think I pronounced that right. We've heard has finally reached Goldmaster status and will launch commercially in Europe and North America on October the 19th this year. Pre-ordered customers who've already pre-ordered can give a little bit of help and have a 3-day head start on the rest of us. Moving on to my little favourite little story of the week, to the addition of from Zen Games, where the UK games publisher Mercury Games, a new publisher I've heard, has actually in partnership with the Japanese publisher Ayrton BV are bringing out 2 cracking little DS games. One of them is called Aquarium DS and the other is called Fantasy Aquarium DS. Well, we've all heard of Nintendogs. Well, get your fish tanks ready, because this is basically like keeping fish in real life. You've got to be fed, clean the tanks. Basically in the normal version you've got clownfish, angelfish, neons, tetras and guppies. On the fantasy side of the game you'll be able to keep things as mad as blue whales, dolphins, seals and sharks.
Cool. I'm up for a great white.
Unlockables as well, obviously, and you will also be able to share your pet fish via the Wi-Fi capabilities of your DS. I've got to say, I just think this is going to be a cracking little game. I really do. And I think that's about all my news stories for this week. Oh, one more, and it's a good one, or I would have left it. EMI Classics have announced their first ever video games live album. We've all probably heard the orchestra doing the rounds in the US. Apparently coming to England as well, if everybody doesn't know, is on October the 19th at the Royal Festival Hall, and I do believe tickets are still available if you wish to go and check that out. It's basically, they're going to release an album, a Video Games Live Greatest Hits. Volume 1 will include medleys from some of the biggest games ever released, including Zelda, Mario, Halo, Warcraft, Sonic, Tron, Myst, Civilization and Final Fantasy. The anthology has been compiled by renowned video game composer and Video Games Live co-creators Tommy Tallarico, if I pronounced that right.
Tommy Tallarico.
Yep, and Jack Wall. The album will feature the Slovak National Orchestra as well as the Crouch End Chorus and the video games pianist Martin Leung. The album was mixed and recorded at the world-famous Abbey Road Studios in London. And yet, it's being released in conjunction with the event at the Royal Festival Hall, as I've just said. But will it sell? Will people want to buy a video games CD?
Hell yes. Considering I have quite a few Final Fantasy soundtracks, the Halo soundtracks, I'd like to get my hands on the Bioshock soundtrack.
Well, can I just say something? The Bioshock soundtrack is available free from their website.
Yes, if you can find it, which I've not managed to do yet.
I'll get you the link. I've got it.
Alright, this week we're going to have a little chat about a platform that has some of the maddest peripherals you'll ever see. It has a great mix of hardcore and casual games, and we're not talking the Wii. In fact, this week we're talking about PC gaming versus console gaming. Which one do you prefer and why, and things along those lines. So guys, given the choice, would you rather game on a PC or would you rather game on a console?
Well, if you'd have asked me this question about probably 12 months ago, I would actually have gone on the PC side. It used to drive me mad. I think we all know the problems, well-known problems of any PC gaming. I was getting sick and tired of buying a game and it never working out the box. And I still think to this day that I have yet to see a perfect 100% working PC game release on any game from any company, which is a shame, because I think they just release them basically to just get them out there, and it's done a hell of a lot, and it did in the end drive me to now my favourite side of things, console gaming. I would actually like some official figures actually to find out who is on top. I honestly believe console gaming is because it's become more accessible to most people now around the world, but PC gaming, I know there's a lot out there are still die-hard PC gamers, but it must be driving people mad. New graphics cards every time a big game comes out, problems drivers. I mean, if PC gaming ever gets to the stage where you get the disc out, you put it in your PC, you let it install, and away you go, and nothing is wrong with it, that will be the biggest miracle ever come to earth. I don't think it ever will happen. Barring Tiger Woods 08, have we ever seen such a bad release on a console? Don't think we have. And my opinion is really that if the testing or the testers can do as good a job on console gaming, why aren't they doing it on PC gaming? It used to be my real big bane, and it used to drive me insane. I used to write to companies and offer, let me be a games tester. I will sit 10, 15 hours a day to sit in a room and do it, until I found out one day I knew a games tester who worked for, I won't mention the company. Basically, they told me that they used to send reports in daily of bugs in the game to be fixed, and I'm afraid as soon as it got close to shipping time, the talk round the offices where we'll release it in the first patch. That to me answered everything. It's sad, I know, very sad, but there still is good PC gamers out there, but I've sadly moved on to console gaming, which I do think in the end will win. Don't know what anybody else's thoughts are.
Dork, I mean, what do you prefer? Do you prefer console or PC?
Yeah, console. Well, RTS games, real-time strategy, I think a lot better on PC. There's some games that are better suited for PC, but overall, definitely consoles are my my 360. I'd rather, some people prefer, mouse pointing, click for a first-person shooter, but I just like the way the controller, feels in my hand. With the analog sticks moving around, pulling the trigger, it just feels a lot more natural. Feels a lot better to me. And it just for the reasons Toz said, you put it in the game, it takes hours to install it, and then you got to download patch after patch after patch, and then even after doing that, you think, there's still bugs galore in the game, the glitches, everything. There's patches every other day, and I don't think there ever has been a complete, PC game released, and there's never that I can, that I know of. There's not been that problem
until this Tiger Woods problem, obviously. But yeah, I mean PCs, and it is a shame because I used to be a massive MMOR, and I will say, going on from that, the MMOR side of things, if MMORs, proper ones, are ever brought to the console and can be handled, run correctly, I think PC gaming will be in serious trouble. I also think as well that the thing that Microsoft are trying with this Windows thing and combine it with as points, achievement points, I really don't think it's going to work. I honestly don't. I think they're flogging a dead horse. It will never work. I applaud them for trying. Let's combine PC with 360. I applaud them for having a go. But I think all those gamers out there know deep down, seriously, it is a non-starter. It will not work properly. No way. I wouldn't like to see PC gaming die, but I will see the day that when the consoles hit the MMOs, hit the consoles. I mean, I don't know if anybody's heard the rumour that it wasn't the real granddaddy of them all. Wasn't Warcraft supposed to be heading towards Sony's PS3? I heard that rumour some weeks ago.
Yeah, I've heard it. I've heard rumors, where it's supposed to be coming to 360 or PS3, everything. I think if Blizzard were smart, they would,
Well, I honestly think
bring
Blizzard must be trying, but I do believe also that Sony will be trying a damn sight harder.
Let me just come in there. I mean, we're talking World of Warcraft here, the massive, massive, massive monster hit that is an MMORPG. But you're saying Blizzard should be smart, get it onto the consoles, but they don't need to. 5 million players, 6 million players,
9 million.
What, 10, 30 bucks, whatever it is a month? They don't need to make another game again, let alone port it and do a bad port, really.
True.
I agree, but I will say something here about Blizzard, and it's been a well-known fact, and people probably won't like me for it, but I argued, I sadly was one of the suckers that were sucked right deep in, 2 years solid, and it was at the end, it was like a drug, and when I got out, I felt like a recovering drug addict, and to this day, I am really glad I got out, and the only thing I got out of that was Blizzard just wanted to keep making more and more and more money. So I actually see Blizzard trying the damnedest to get it to console, and I wouldn't be at all surprised if it comes out to one of the consoles. More than likely be the Sony, because I actually think Sony will be moving hell and high water to try and get that on board, because it'll be the saviour for their machine, basically.
Yeah, but I do have to say that don't forget that Sony also do their own MMORPGs with EverQuest.
Yeah,
again, and Star Wars Galaxies as well, which is god-awful.
But let's be fairly honest now that Warcraft's changed they've moved the ballpark, haven't they? Sony cannot now sit back and say we do Star Wars or whatever. They've moved the ballpark, Blizzard have. Yeah, you got something to say, Doc?
Yeah, back to the Sony making MMORs. Would you consider Home to be kind of an MMO?
I can see where you're coming from, yeah.
It's a good point, actually. It could be.
Kind of like a first step towards how that would work on a console.
If we're going on the Sony side of things then, and the MMOR thing, I mean, what about the Final Fantasy franchises? Has one of them ever worked properly online? For a console? I know they've tried it.
I have actually played 11 online, and I did stop playing it because by the time it was released on the 360, everybody was so many levels ahead of you that you were kind of playing catch-up, and it just wasn't fun.
Did you have to actually pay a monthly subscription then on the console?
Yes, you did. You had to pay a couple of quid a month.
And what's your thoughts on that if it ever happens? Do you think that will
I hate that. we pay for live already. I don't want to pay more to play another damn game.
Yeah, on that
Exactly.
side then we can then move on to Two Worlds, can't we? As being probably an attempt at an MMOR on the console, the first attempt, but apparently it's turned into a bad attempt, hasn't it?
Sort of. Yeah. When you can't, the lag so bad you can't even.
I heard on a
when
podcast
you're
this
online,
week that the frame rate is so appalling on that it actually looks like a slideshow.
Yeah.
I mean, that is bad. And that's yet again
Oh,
another
man.
shame, because it was a game I
Yeah.
was actually penciled in to actually purchase, because the idea of the game, it just sounds fantastic. But again, we come back to, do MMOs work on consoles? And it don't look like it. Kid,
That
you've got
was
something to say?
that was exactly what I was about to say. Do MMOs work on a console?
I think they will do. They will do one day. We've seen already that with the Microsoft PC 360, attempt where they've tried to combine PC players with console players, they've seen it's all going to come down to the control system. We know it is. It's the big be-all and end-all. I do think they've actually virtually made a great go of RTSs now with the control system, but whether they do it with MMORs is another thing.
Yeah. The live thing on PC and 360, I just don't think it's worth, because PC gamers, they don't want to pay for anything. As far as extra maps, and they don't pay to play online. They don't want to play online, and it's going to take a lot to convince them to pay to play online. I just don't. I don't see that working.
Fantastic point. I forgot about that, but you've hit the nail on the head. That is going to be what the biggest, if not, it was the biggest complaint when they tried it. There's no way PC players are going to stump up the $5, $6, $7, $8, $9, $10, whatever it is, to play online, to pay to play online. Definitely not going to do it. No way. I mean, they pay for the hardware is bad enough, so they're not. No way.
Yeah, and using that with MMOs on the console gamers, we're already paying $50 a year for live. We're not going to pay more to play Fantasy Star Universe or whatever.
No.
Online. That's it. They're going to have to find a way around that before MMOs are going to take off on
Going
console.
on to that slight subject then, does any of us actually think that it will happen, that Microsoft will stop people charging for gold online? Because it was rumoured that when Sony hit the stands and their biggest ploy was a dig at Microsoft, basically saying, oh look, our online's free, you don't have to pay. Everybody at the Microsoft community thought, oh yeah, we're going to get ARM free now. It's not happened, has it? And doesn't look like happening. Do any of you think it will?
No, I don't. Well, it might eventually, but right now, okay, for Sony, yeah, your online's free, but it sucks. Woohoo. I'm okay paying $50 a year for Xbox Live. As long as it's 10 times better than what Sony's got. They don't even have a unified friends list. I don't see, how you. That just.
Yeah. It is the big complaint of the other consoles, isn't it? The fact that the Wii doesn't have a unified friend list and are hard as hell to get online. Sony doesn't have it have a unified friends list, and what's their big game now? What at the minute? Warhawk, which is multiplayer only. Can you say Shadowrun? Obviously doing better than Shadowrun. And people are having problems with that, getting into games and finding games.
A lot better than Shadowrun.
So, advantage to Microsoft, because they have been doing the Xbox Live for, is it 5 years now?
Yeah, I think it did start back on the Xbox days, didn't it? I mean, you're right. We'll all sit here and admit, we're all 360 owners, that any of the other companies to me have got to sit back, take one look, a 2-minute look of how Xbox Live functions. We all know we all slag Microsoft off at times, but let's hold our hands up and say, yeah, Xbox Live is probably the best online scenario of any consoles, PCs, anyway. It's done so brilliantly. Yes, there are a few flaws, bound to be in any system, but it's the best out there. I'm amazed the way Sony have now gone with Home. I actually caught a rumour a few weeks back that Home was really, really doing badly in polls. When it first hit the scene, everybody was ecstatic. They thought it was one of the best things that's going to challenge Microsoft. Apparently now, I read a few weeks ago online where polls for home are dropped like right down to something like 12% interest from like a 70 odd percent interest, and I think it got Sony worried, and it is worrying because, like you say, Warhawk online, is it working well how they want to work? Probably not. And at home, is it going to work? What do you say, kid?
Now, if you've gone out there and looked up home and you've seen the screenshots, it does look very nice. It's very impressive. I kind of think of it as Second Life, and you'll kind of get there. And this is where I'm going to... Now, speaking of Second Life, do Sony think that people are going to be behaving as well as they are showing in the videos and the screenshots of home? Because I don't think so. Because you're going to get someone... Alright, maybe you won't be able to make a nude suit, but we've all had it where we've dropped into the bad game with the guys being racist or swearing or whatever. So, I mean, does Sony think that that's, for 1 second, is going to be well behaved?
It'll take that Uno stuff to a whole new level.
Yeah, I mean, that astounds me. I mean, but even on that point as the Uno level, it's still controllable by us, which is going to fall into the point of, you're bound to have controls on home, but my question, what I was going to bring up about home to you, pair, is, do you, pair, actually see the whole point of home and which direction Sony are taking with it? We all know, again, edging back to 360 and live, we know what it is, we know how it works, it's basic, it basically does what it says on the tin. Home, to me, looks a hodgepodge of a million different things, and it's the old adage to me, you're trying to cram too much in too small a space, and somewhere along that line, it's going to go wrong. I've thought for a long time, and never said it, that home will be a disaster. I don't think it'll work. I think it's just open, like kids just said, to just abuse by everybody, because we know it works by everybody. It will live and die on first release on its control system, on its parental controls, on its security. I don't think it'll work wholeheartedly. I do think Sony down the line will get a better online system. They've got to. They've got to compete with Microsoft, as they always have tried. But they will have to get a better online system, and it's got to be soon. Now, whether that's going to be home, to me, I'm not so sure. I think it's just fallible, very fallible.
Yeah, I mean, I think the whole point of home, PlayStation Home, is like I said, it's Second Life on your console. Second Life, if you don't know, is a free MMO on the PC. Let's bring it back a bit over to the PC side of things, because, well, for example, the UK #1 and probably #1 in America and all over the world is BioShock. Now, I don't know if anyone's aware of this, but for BioShock on the PC, you're basically only allowed 2 installs.
They've changed it. They've changed it.
Oh, they have changed it, because originally it was 2 installs, but if you uninstall it properly, you get the install back. But say if your system crashes with it installed, you're down to 1 install.
Yeah, it's now been moved to 5. It was done immediately. The forums lit up like a Christmas tree. People went mad. And they have actually announced as well, I've found out, that they are taking more into consideration and considering making different changes, because to me it's appalling. You cannot start restricting products for installation. We've all got software at home. If we all put our hands up now and say, how many times have you installed Windows back on your PC, I would lose fingers.
Too many times.
Exactly. To me, I have paid for your product. It is now my product to do what I want with. Now, I do agree, obviously, you've got to have some restrictions that you can't go and install it on Uncle Timmy's PC and Uncle Johnny's PC and Grandad John's PC and let them play it. That's obvious, you can't do. But you cannot restrict somebody to downloads. You are installs. You're only allowed so many installs per game. That is the most ridiculous idea I ever heard. Once scrapping, once taking away. Yes, you've got to have restrictions, but you can't start telling people how many installs they've got. But they did change it to 5 immediately, within 24 hours, I think it was.
Alright, and there's another thing I want to mention on the PC side, and I'm probably going to get the names mixed up, so I'm going to apologise now. And is it Steam by Valve, or is it Valve by Steam? I can't remember. Basically the company that did Half-Life, that allows you to download full games to your hard drive.
Steam.
Which is kind of what PlayStation's done with Warhawk. You can either buy it for $60 at retail and get a free Bluetooth headset, or you can download it for $40 to your PlayStation 3. And we're not like the Xbox, we're not talking Xbox Live Arcade games here, small arcade games. We are talking Half-Life 2. We are talking big-ass games.
Yeah, just on that point, I do think it's going to hit the Xbox. You can be assured of that, without a doubt. Your 360 full games are coming to download. The Tomb Raider one.
Tomb Raider's getting actually a shelf release.
Is it? Well,
yes.
It was a story I was meant to say in the news and I forgot, regarding the only thing that 360 has done when we come to Oblivion. And their expansion pack was the first full-ish release on 360. That's been announced this week that it's being released on CD as well, as part of apparently they've got another game with it as well. But yeah, that was the first one on the 360. I think it's another expansion if I'm not wrong. Right.
Oh.
That they've announced it's going to come on to. I think I'm just looking it up now. Yeah, just bear with me. I'll get it because it is interesting. Announced today, Bethesda announced that today it will release Elder Scrolls Shivering Isles for the 360 on CD, on retail. The Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion, without obviously having to go on live now and buy it, the disc will also include the downloadable content, the Elder Scrolls 4 Knights of the Nine. Is that? Am I getting mixed up? Is that the full?
Knights of the Nine was an extra
name?
content that they released for it as well as for download.
Right. Well, apparently then it's all going in now. It's all going to be released on CD this week. Apparently.
Yeah.
Shivering Isles, because they said originally they wasn't never going to do it, was they?
Well, the trouble is the limitation with the Xbox right now is the standard hard drive that you get on the Xbox is 20 gig. Only 10 or a little over 10 of you can
13.
use.
13 it is. Yeah.
13 gig of which you can use. Alright, so you say a full game's 4 gig. You're not going to get many full games on. Alright, yes, there is the additional hard drive that's 120. Yes, it is 120 gig. But then again, you've got to buy that. And games companies aren't going to look at it that way. They're going to go to the lowest common denominator. And the trouble with the Xbox is the lowest common denominator is the core system that has no hard drive.
Yeah. That's going to get scrapped very shortly. I think everybody's waiting for it. It's coming. The only thing Microsoft are worried about, as I've heard on other podcasts, is basically if they start to alienate people that have bought cores by doing one thing or another. And we know the big controversial moment that's coming out. It's been a lot of talk on other shows as regards the sticker on the front of some boxes that's going to say, "Will need hard drive to play." Microsoft are very wary of this, apparently, to do with alienating their core owners. I would actually like to know how many core systems that have been sold. I've got a feeling it can't be many now, surely.
I bought a core at launch.
Did you? But then again, looking at the recent price releases in the UK, they're down to 175, which is the same price as a Wii. So they must be still trying to push them. So yeah, maybe not going to get rid of them too soon. But just coming back to the releases and full games on the PC, on the 360s or the consoles as such, I think it will happen, and it'll happen when Microsoft finally decide to bring the stupid, ridiculous prices of their hardware down, because the hard drives at the prices they are putting out in this country alone is not even a joke. It's not even funny. I saw this week I could pick up this week a 500 gig hard drive, an external within a caddy USB connection for $59.95. Now they expect us to pay £130 for a 120 gig hard drive. I'm sorry, there is nobody that stupid that will do it, or if they are, they seriously want their head looking at. They've got to bring the hardware down, but yeah, it will happen one day. Downloads will come onto 360.
All right, let's wrap this up then, because we've got a lot more to do yet. So, final thoughts then. So we're all saying we prefer console gaming for, well, I think that is it, isn't it? The console has the ease of use. You can buy a game at launch, and you can buy a game at the end of the console's life, and they will both play. Whereas you cannot say buy a PC game 1 year and 5 years buy another game, it might not run on your system.
The bottom line, for me, line is that console games work and PC games don't. Hard to say, but it's true.
Dork, any final thoughts on this?
I'm in agreement with you guys. Console gaming all the way.
Jeez, too much agreeing on this show. I'll have to get cranky again. Well,
Yeah.
Speaking of getting cranky again, yes, it's that time of the week again. Toz, take it away.
Yeah, rant of the week time. The big rant I think we're going to move on to, big news, is Call of Duty 4. The beta, as not predicted by us, I will add. I will hold my hand up and say it is surprising. But the news broke towards the end of this week that it is indeed coming to our shores. We are going to be involved in beta, apparently due to start on Monday. As our friends in the US will know, they had some kind of token fiasco to join in their beta that's currently going. I don't actually know the full ins and outs of how it was done, how you had to apply or how you got it. But in this country, it's turned into a farce, basically. Me and Kid was live online Friday when the news broke. We was both frantically searching round to find out how you take part in this ridiculous beta token. And basically on the website of Call of Duty 4, gave you instructions to go to 3 places to get what was called an Activision code.
A token.
So an Activision code to apply for your beta token. So over here, we need a number to apply for a token to then be maybe accepted into the beta.
Well, basically, it's a token for a token. You need a token to get the token.
Correct. And it's not guaranteed, I've heard, as well. But the worst thing is, the three places they gave you was GameSpot. No, sorry, yeah, GameSpot. Was it Game, Kid?
It was GameSpot, Game, and Eurogamer.
That's it, Eurogamer. We actually got ours from Eurogamer.
So, thank you, Eurogamer.
Thank you, Eurogamer. We are waiting with bated breath for our next obvious great news of a beta key if we get one. But the strange thing was, what I found annoying, the game one that was given out, I followed the link, and guess what? Surprise, surprise. You would have got one of these Activision codes if you pre-ordered the game at $39.95. Well, I'm sorry, betas and pre-ordering do not go hand in hand. Betas are testing software for people to see if things work. For them to be saying you can have a code to maybe get a beta code is appalling. It's ridiculous. I will hold my hands up and say Eurogamer had a lot more codes than we first anticipated. I think when I was on at 6 AM in the morning, got my code, and there was still 17,000 left. And I think, Kid, didn't you even check yesterday?
When I came on, and mine was about 10 to 7 in the morning, when I noticed that you'd sent me the email saying, get over there and get your token, there was still about 17,000 left. I don't think we checked back a bit later, and there was still about 5,000 left. So,
as regards GameSpot didn't start their beta applications until the evening, I think, late Friday evening. But then we did all get excited thinking we was going to be downloading and getting ready. But lo and behold, we come to the next bit of a little rant. We then find in our instant reply email where it actually starts on Monday morning on the 10th of September. So we're waiting bated breath, and then I casually mention, oh, I've just remembered something. The 10th is the day Microsoft are deciding to close Live down for some reason or other. Still not clear on that. Don't know whether it's the fall update or not. But not only has us UK players got to get a token for a token that may get us in the beta, we have now got to sit twiddling our thumbs on day of release and not be able to even get on. So, all in all, as I've said many times, I think this Call of Duty 4 beta has been an absolute farce and a joke. Everybody wants to play it. Why not just limit a number, go on the website, say, here we are guys, there's 20,000 places, put your name in, get the first 20,000, give them a beta key. If they're in, they're in. Not this token, that, you might get this. Rubbish. Absolute rubbish. I have been so sorely tempted to not even bother. I really have. And I do believe you may even hear some more next week, because I am not confident that it's going to go as smooth as it's planning on going. I don't know about you, kid, but I don't think it's going to go anything like the Open.
Only time will tell.
All in all, a big rant from me. It's been handled pathetic. I mean, you know, Halo 3 beta, although it was bad to play at times, it was very smoothly run. We know it had bad start for the first few hours of getting it going, but it did go a lot smoother than this. Alright, you had to buy a game to get it, but it's a lot of messing about by Call of Duty people. It's horrendous. Just give a beta out, for God's sake. Stop messing us about.
Alright, let's move on, because we've still got a hell of a lot to go, and we've only got 30 minutes till kick-off of the England game, so let's kick it. Yes, it's a bit of a rush.
To watch the soccer game.
Don't say that bleeding word. Right, show mail. Yes, we have show mail again.
Woohoo!
Now, you remember last week that we were talking about the chat pad, and I said, does anybody actually use it? Well, lo and behold, a friend of the show, Crazy Fruit Bat, emailed us in and let us know that he does actually use MSN Messenger on his 360, and this is what he said. He said, "Hi guys, I listened to your podcast while I was supposed to be doing work in my god-awful job. So, hello Crazy Fruit Bat, how's the work going? And I wish to comment about using MSN on the Xbox 360. I in fact use MSN Messenger quite a lot. I live in Japan, you lucky git, but all my friends live back home in the UK. And knowing who is online on my MSN list is very handy. Don't get me wrong, I never type on the damn thing. I stand up, walk across to the room, and type on my good old user-friendly PC. Typing would just be utterly ridiculous. So there you go. Someone actually does use sort of use Messenger on the 360. But does anyone actually use Messenger on the 360 as Messenger? That's what I want to know.
I will when the little things come out that I'm hoping to get in the next few weeks, which I will make a comment on when I buy one, because I will be buying one. The little chat pads, I think they're great. I think they look great. I will get one and probably give a bit of a review for it.
And just want to quickly just gloss over a couple of other ones. We have Oaken emailed us in and said he loves the show, so thank you, Oaken. Sorry that you think we were bashing on Halo 3. We certainly didn't mean to be bashing on Halo 3. We were saying that we didn't...
we were mini bashing.
We weren't really bashing. We were just trying to say we didn't like it.
Okay. Okay, if that's not...
Sorry,
bashing.
I've just had a message pop up as I was trying to say that, so it distracted me. Where was I? We've had 8. Good news, Toz. We actually have a UK listener.
Yay.
And I have to say, I'm going to give him a shout in a minute. I just love his game tag, and he's just saying he loves the show, so thank you. And our friend James emailed us in, but I've lost your email, James, so I'm sorry, so I can't read it out. So, okay, moving on. Slightly confused, but that's nothing unusual for me. Shout-outs this week. Shout-outs from me go to Jeff123 for just the kind words of support. A shout-out goes to my good friend Dick Gilman, who helped design the new logo, which we'll be finding out about soon. A shout-out to Monkey Chunk UK, who was our UK listener, and like I said, just love that gamer tag.
It is great tag.
Monkey Chunk. I love the Monkey Chunk. And for two very big shout-outs to guys that have been helping us out a lot this week. One really huge one to Rockstar Aviator, because he's been doing a lot of behind-the-scenes work for us, and we want to say thank you very much, Rockstar. We really appreciate the work you've done.
Yep.
And another one to my good friend iFester, who not only has done the intro to the show this week, but has also given us a new logo, which Toz has absolutely fallen in love with. So, thanks, Fester.
Which I still would like as a gamer tag picture, but...
Patience. We don't have 10,000 listeners yet. Patience.
No.
Anybody else got any shout-outs that they want to do?
No, just from me, a big thank you to everybody that will know who they are, that's done a lot of work behind the scenes, which we all find out shortly why. But yeah, big thank you from me. Me and Kid's been run off his feet the past few weeks, again, which you'll find out shortly. But just a massive thank you from everybody from here, as you'll know. But yeah, cheers, lads. Much appreciated.
Dork, any shout-outs?
You know, I don't know if you can call this a shout-out since I'm talking to you guys, but I'm gonna thank you guys for, letting me come on here whenever my, mic decides to work or whenever I can wake up. But, thanks for having me on this. I've had a lot of fun doing it.
Yes, I can
No problem.
I can no longer threaten the Nelson Rodriguez strippogram for, again, reasons you're about to find out. Oh, and actually I have one more shout-out. to Nevis.
Oh yeah, our moderator.
Yes.
Which, again, you'll find out in a minute. So,
well, let's stop teasing the mate, Oz. Yes, Nevis is our moderator. So thanks, Nevis, for well, you didn't volunteer. I made you do it, but thank you anyway. It's the only time I've made Nevis do anything, apart from you use me as target practice, like she did last night. Right, the big news. As some of our listeners will know, those of you that listen to Achievement Junkies will know this, but we're going to go into it. Nelson Rodriguez, the host of Achievement Junkies, has just recently got a job working for Microsoft. The lucky person.
fantastic. Yeah, fantastic. Brilliant job. Good luck.
So, Nelson, if you want to send any jobs our way, come on.
Well,
show some love.
he could send us any hardware or anything for review if he's capable, of course.
Hint, hint. Right, the big show news then. Achievement Junkie will probably now be going once a week. And so Nelson obviously wants to help keep the community together and everything. He's invited 2 shows to become sister shows to Achievement Junkies. One of those shows is XCast, which is Achievement Junkie New York, and the other one is Achievement Junkie UK. But you know it better as the Cranky Gamers. That's right. We are now part of the family of Achievement Junkies, so that's pretty damn cool. Wouldn't you say, Toz?
Pretty stunning, mate. It's just blown us away, as you know. Just a massive thank you to Nelson for letting us do this. Can't thank you enough. It's gone frantic over this side. We've been absolutely just blown away. We've not stopped talking to each other every day. We've done a lot of work into the things that Kid's just going to go into in a minute. But yeah, Achievement Junkies UK, we're classed as sister show, but still be known as Cranky Gamers UK. That's what we will be known as. But yeah, we're being affiliated with that, and just a massive thank you to Nelson and Natalie, of course. But yeah, guys, just brilliant, and I hope we will do a good job and carry it on for you and make it good. So yeah, thanks a lot.
I'd like to stress we are not replacing Achievement Junkies. We are a sister show. They will be plugging us hopefully on their show and their site, but we are not replacing them. Because let's face it, I don't think anybody could replace those two. They put so much time and effort and do such a fantastic show, and absolute respect for them for helping us out and giving us this big opportunity. So guys, thank you very much, and we hope we live up to it. And there's more news. We now have a proper website. So if you want to go and visit us, you can find us at the www.crankygamersuk.com. So crankygamers.com is up and ready for you to go and mess about with. We also have forums as well, so come on guys, drop into our forums and help us build a community as well. You can find plenty of things in there. You can leave us feedback on the episodes or just make new friends and have a chat, and you'll also find the Cranky Pit in there. It's a part of the forums where if you want to go and talk about one of our particular topics of the week, you can go in there and discuss it with other forum members. So come on guys, come and join us.
Yep. Can't be nothing without you guys, so yeah, everybody, get your friends in. We've now got websites, forums, we need you guys, no show without you. And the Cranky Pit, you'll more than likely meet me, so if you want to moan at me, feel free, we need you there, but you'll get moaned back, of course.
Absolutely, and that's why I want to say a very absolute huge thank you also to Rockstar Aviator again, because he's, over the past couple of days, he's helped us set this website up and get it up and running. He's put a lot of hard work in, so thank you very much. And also, he donated the site to us as well, so
which is great.
Props to him.
Fantastic. Cheers, much appreciated.
So that means that if you want to get in touch with us, or if you would like to appear on the show in some way, shape or form by sending us an intro like iFester has done, or if you want to send us an MP3 asking us a question or wanted to bring up something, you can do. Just keep the MP3s to under 3 minutes, please, just so we can get them into our email. So if you want to send those in, or if you just want to send us an email saying how much you like us, or how much you think we bash something, or if you don't like us, let us know. And you can send that too. I know.
Oh, you weren't bashing. You were just saying that you didn't like it.
Yeah, we didn't like it.
Anyway, you can email us at crankygamers@crankygamersuk.com. Finally, an email I might be able to remember. Nah. Alright then, well this is your host Kid Dog saying thank you for joining us yet again on this slightly crazy show that we have called the Cranky Gamers UK, otherwise also known as Achievement Junkie UK. So I want to thank for joining me this week, Toz.
Yeah, thanks guys, thanks Kid, thanks Dork, been a great show, great news all round. Let's hope it carries on, and we'll see you guys, or hopefully next week. Thank you, everybody.
Yes, and there'll be more Derby bashing next week.
Indeed, there will.
All right, and I also want to thank for getting up especially early for us. Dorkfish, thank you yet again for coming on and completing the Cranky Gamers classic lineup, as we like to call it.
Anytime, man, anytime. It wasn't that early. It wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. I didn't have to drink a Coke today to wake me up.
Yes, that's how we refer to. You see, you compare us to Coke. The classic lineup is Coke, which is me, Dogg, and Toz. You have Diet Coke or Diet Cranky Gamers, which is me and Toz, and you have Cranky Gamers Zero, which is me, Toz, and Fur. And actually, for Phil Alonso, yeah, again, thank you for helping us last week and having an excellent show. So, I've been your host, Kid Dog. Those two have been exceptionally, well, Toz has been exceptionally cranky, but that's nothing new. And you can't blame it on Derby this week.
No. Bye, everybody. Great show. See you next week.
Till next week, stay cranky. And of course, Top Johnny, kick it.
Kick it. We are the masters of this disaster. Stuck inside this cave with burning vista.